Good evening, all. This is Shea Horo at ShogunTrading.com. This is our free weekly newsletter. I'm actually pretty excited, and I want to show you a few things that I think we're going to change your mind about the market and what's going to happen from now on. I do think we have a fundamental change coming. Sorry to use the political word change right now. First of all, I want to start with S&P 500. This is a 30-minute chart of the S&P 500, one of our major indexes. This is all of March. It's a 30-minute chart because I want you to see exactly the action during the day because I think it tells the whole story. This has been a choppy mess. Absolutely a choppy mess. And the reason why is because every time the market goes down, the Fed steps in and saves the market. We could have had an absolute disaster this month. We could have had a serious drop because all of a sudden Bear Stearns got caught without any liquidity and they had to basically liquidate the company and then JP Morgan bought them, with government assistance, with taxpayer assistance over the weekend. And so, you know the story. You listen to the news, you hear the story. But can you imagine if Bear Stearns would have gone belly up? It would have been disastrous for the market. But instead, the Fed steps in every time and saves the market. So instead of having a downtrend, what we have right now is we have a sideways downtrend. A downtrend is the market cleaning up. The market taking a shower, basically, is what a downtrend is. The market, gets rid of all the weak players. Everyone that needs to sell sells, and so on. But if every time that there's a sell-off, the Fed bumps it back up, it creates a sideways downtrend. So we're basically washing ourselves out of everything in the sideways motion. That's a 30-minute chart. Let me show you a daily chart. And you can see that we have had a very, very nice downtrend. We came back up. We were going for another downtrend. But again, the Fed steps in and saves the market. Right now what we have is a possible double bottom. We have one bottom, two bottom. Here. There's one bottom and there's two bottom. Now, if we start coming up this way, possibly breaking this line, the 1388, you can look for the market to start climbing back up, which would be tremendous, of course. Let me get rid of this. This is the S&P 500. The Dow Jones Industrial Average looks very, very similar. You see that I changed charts, but the chart basically doesn't really change. Let me show you this on a weekly basis. And you see that we came down pretty hard, higher bottom right now, and we're possibly continuing the uptrend. Not continuing the uptrend, but actually restarting the uptrend into the upside if we can keep climbing back up. That's as far as the stock market is concerned. And I think the stock market right now is basically following other markets. And I want to show you a couple real quick. One of them I want to show you is the dollar. This is a chart of the US dollar. Weekly chart. You can see we're diving. When did we start diving? We started diving around the end of 2001, September 11th, 2002, and that's when we started diving from 120 down to 72 on this dollar index, a specific dollar index. Pretty amazing that it's coincidence with September 11th, the war against terrorism, and so on. I think people, I don't want to get political, but you can derive at whatever conclusions you want to without me actually saying it. This is the oil index. Look at where it started coming up. Right after this area of 2001, and then all of a sudden, war against terrorism, dollar going straight down. There's oil. Oil index went from 300 up to 900. Tremendous. Here's something nice though. Here's a lower top. If this is a lower top, we could possibly have a correction coming. You see the head and shoulders? We could have this coming right now, which would be tremendous for us, of course. If I go back to the dollar index, you can see that it actually bounced this week. I'm not really seeing a bottom quite yet, but I think a bottom is coming, especially if the oil has started to come down. Let me show you a few more indexes that I think you'll find interesting. This is the Energy Spiders. Select Energy Spider. And you can see, again, a lower top, possibly going into a downtrend. You can see right there. There's your top. This is gold. Now, look at how gold... let That's the extent of this index. But look at how gold broke out, and look what kind of week it just had. It came down for the first time and came down hard. Could this be a top? Could this be a reversal of the gold? If this is a reversal of the gold, anti-inflationary, basically, oil prices coming down, energy futures coming down, dollar coming back up. That's good news. This is silver. Look at how silver took a dive. This is a weekly chart, guys. Look at how much of it gave back. These are the financials. This is the financial ETF. You can see how, like I said before, a triple top, which is the same thing I'm seeing right now. We're seeing right now on the energy sector, and now look at how it popped back up. I'm sure they have a lot of skeletons in the closets left out. I'm sure Bear Stearns is not the only one, but I'm sure now we're going to go into a little bit of a cleanup. 3 years too late, but I think we are going to go into a cleanup right now. These are the home builders. This is exciting because the home builders actually have a higher bottom. This is what I'm looking at. And if we start coming back up, this will be tremendous. I think this is something that you want to watch. There's the oil service, and you can see another one of those lower tops, possibly going into a downtrend. I mean, not all of them going to a long-term downtrend, but it could be a short-term downtrend. It could develop into a long-term downtrend. Who knows? Which one is this? I forgot which one this is. Let me check real quick. This is agriculture. Agriculture is really coming down. Agriculture is what was causing some of our inflation because of food prices, and it's really coming down quite quickly. Last but not least, this is the semiconductors, and this one is really interesting. We had a topping pattern. We came down. Now we're sitting right there at the 43 support. Are we going to break it? If we break it, I think we're just going to break with the market. If the semiconductors break the 43 level, let me go back into daily. We're going to go short the semiconductors. We're going to short the semiconductors across the board. But if they go above the $50, we're going to go long the semiconductors because I think that's when the whole sector is going to go up. You can go long the index itself. You can short the index if it breaks below 43. This is a pretty well-defined range right there. I think the market is going to follow the semiconductors right now at this point. We had a pretty interesting week. I talked about the energy futures. I talked about gold, and one of our stock picks that did extremely well for us, for example, is Nova Gold. And we shorted this one at 977, and it reached our target at 730. This is a tremendous amount of profit in 5 days. 5 days on a $977 stock, going down to 731, 2 points. Quite a bit of profit on that specific one, and that's just because we identified the right sector. Here's another example. Hovnanian. This is a home builder, and on Thursday, the stock was up 20%. It was actually up more than 20%, but that was our trade. Our trade was go long at 10.59. I do think that this stock, for example, is going to go up to 20. Especially if the whole home builder sector that I was talking about before, if this one starts going up. This is the select. This is the ETF. And individual home builders could work extremely well. They have so much upside potential right now. Look at that. I mean, Hovnanian used to be a $45 stock. Went all the way down to $4. It's got a tremendous amount of upside potential. Think about how many people want to see the stock go up. So it should be very special. Anyway, guys, I'm seeing gold coming down. I'm seeing oil coming down. I'm seeing energy coming down. Agricultural is coming down. The dollar might be reaching a bottom. Home builders working on a bottom. The whole market, all of the downside momentum coming out of it. This could turn out to be something historic, really, and I'm really excited about that. Anyway. Have a great week. Remember that the market could be coming back, and I'm looking forward to trading heavily. Anyway, have a great week. I'll talk to you next week.